Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Zoom calls with the Dream Achievers team. I'm super excited. I will officially introduce our speaker, Lisa Burns, who's up on my top corner. But we're going to do a couple things first before her topic of how to successfully use Square at events. So I'm really excited to learn from Lisa, and I will introduce her properly in a couple minutes. But before we get to that, I would like to hear a couple business-related victories. Just share your name and a business-related victory, please.
I have one. This is Katie.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the month, I realized I had 4 parties booked, local parties. And I mean, our town is like 2,000 people. So there's a ton of crossover. And so I kind of panicked because I thought the sales weren't be very high. But every one of the parties is over 500, and there's one that's right at 1,000.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I was really surprised.
That's
Were those in person or online?
No, they're all online.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. And Katie, I thought you were saying they're in person, but yeah, online, they have people all over the place. Yeah, way to go, Katie. You're gonna have another good month. That's fantastic. Good news. All right, who else wants to share?
I've started talking to people more.
Mel, about Tastefully Simple.
Yep.
I know you like to talk. I'm just giving you a hard time. Well,
I
good,
know.
Mel. Good. Any one thing in particular that changed for you that you decided or that you want to share?
My husband pushing me to go for it.
There you go, Mel. And with this incentive this week, maybe you have someone that would like to join your team.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, congratulations. You're
In
great at
fact, we were at the grocery store the other day and he saw some lady at the spices and he's like, baby, give her one of your business cards that she don't have to buy this.
It sounds like, Mel, you should sign your husband up and the two of you can work this gig together.
No, that would not be a good idea.
Oh, okay. He's a good support staff, so good.
Yes.
Well, congratulations. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about announcements. As you saw perhaps today, Tastefully Simple is partnering with the National Women's Business Day, which is on Wednesday. I shouldn't say partnering, leveraging that by offering a sponsoring incentive that started today, the 20th, that runs till the 24th. Each new consultant you add to your team during this time, they will earn an extra 5,000 bonus points for the incentive trip, our Party to Paradise. That's a big deal, 5,000 points. So who do you know that's been on the fence, or just maybe you haven't asked them yet? Plenty of time for them to join. So wanted to remind you of that. Angie Schaefer and I partnered up with the Discovery Calls, and we are offering our second one for the month. So it's perfect timing. This Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and the information is on the team page, but basically 8 o'clock, this Zoom link, and invite any potentials, and then you would need to be on as well. We'd like you to be on. And if you're just curious what it's about, you can join as well. There's as many times as you want, but the idea is that we'd love to help you grow your team. And then what did you guys think of Stacy? Stacy was our speaker last week. Wasn't she good?
So good.
It was awesome. And if you didn't see it, please take some time to go back and watch it. And I'll be submitting those that have submitted their hashtag I did it. And then Stacy will be sending, I know the goal is 5, but I'm sure she'll, even if you have 2 or 3, it's kind of exciting. So keep the momentum going and keep asking. And then before we get to Lisa, I also want to tell you that next week, does anybody know Christy Van Wy? Who knows Christy Van Wy with Tastefully Simple? Lisa, you do, don't you? Sheila, you know Christy Van Wy, don't you? Yeah. Guess who's going to be our guest speaker next week? Christy is going to talk about successful open houses geared towards new consultants or those that maybe haven't done it. So she's been a consultant probably for 22 years. Her open houses now are like $9,000.
Oh my God.
She didn't start with that, but she's gonna share with us tips because really, now my excuse is I live 15 miles one way. Some of you have been to my house. So I used to do them, but I just don't anymore. But I would say if you live in town or close to town, why would you not be doing that twice a year? So anyway, we'll hear from her next week, next Monday night. Well, I'm extremely excited about our next keynote speaker, our own amazing Lisa Burns, who is joining us from, I almost said Benson, but Glenwood, Minnesota, on that beautiful, huge lake in Glenwood. Lisa has been with us for, it'll be her 19th, basically simple anniversary. I almost said wedding. This November, so that's exciting. She's married and they have 4 children, and she's going to be a grandma. Is it December or January?
November.
Oh, November. Yeah,
Yep.
November. And I asked her why she loves doing Tastefully Simple, and she said that she loves sharing the products with customers and their excitement when they discover a new favorite. So please help me welcome Lisa Burns, and she's going to share with us her knowledge on using the square. So I'm excited to hear. Yay!
Yay.
Thanks. Well, as excited as Sherry is, I'm equally nervous. So bear with me because I'm just worried about my technology skills here. I'm challenged sometimes. So let's just cross your fingers, hope it all goes as it should. But with Square, I think a lot of you are already using it mostly for a checkout process and maybe not so much as an inventory tracking process. But the inventory tracking is probably the best thing that I like about using Square. So you can, if you don't already use Square, you can download from somebody's link, then you and that person will get $1,000 of free processing. So don't go just to square.com and sign up, but use somebody's link. So that's the first thing that I want to share. And then I'm going to do part of this. I pre-recorded some from my phone because I use my phone at events, and then I'll come back and I will show you basically how to enter your inventory on the computer, because that's going to be more data entry. And if you're like me, you like typing on a computer better than on your phone, it probably goes a little faster. So I'm just going to play the video that I recorded. And then when that is through, then I will bring you back to the computer version. So. The first thing you will want to do is to set up your inventory.
I can't hear it, Lisa.
Shoot.
Is it my computer? No.
I'm not hearing it either. I could kind of hear it.
Okay,
I hear bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
let me turn my volume up maybe. Try it again.
Okay.
So once you have downloaded the app from the link for Square, is that better?
No. I still can't hear it, Lisa.
Okay, I'll talk through it. So to get to your inventory. So once you're in the app, you'll go into the more down at the corner bottom, and then into items, and then all items to add your inventory. And you're just going to click on the create item and then add the name of the product. And yes, I realized it did howling here, and I did correct that in my list. And then just scroll down and add the price. And I include the shipping in my price. if you, and I rounded to the nearest quarter. So I include that in all of my prices. That makes giving change easier. I only have to have quarters in my change bag then. I don't have to have all the other coins. And then the managed stock is where you will add the inventory, the products that you receive. So you would just click on the add product and enter the number that you received on your order. And then you would just repeat this for every product that you have on hand. So then you would just go again to create item and do the same thing all over again, adding the name of your product. And with the drink buckets, I do add both of them, just the caramel apple single and then caramel apple value pack, so that you have both of those. So you see me correcting here. And again, just scroll down, add your price, and then into the managed stock. And that's where you're going to enter the quantity that you've received. So then if you go back into your list and just scroll down in the inventory list, you're going to see the 2 new products that you have added. The list will automatically sort in alphabetical order. And if you go into, when you open up the app, it opens up to the checkout. And so when you use this at an event, just tap on the products that the customer is purchasing. You see the blue added light up, and then the blue bar with the review sale. Click on that, and then you're going to get the itemized list of everything that your customer is purchasing. If you click on the blue bar, and then this is where you can enter your cash or your checks if you accept checks at vendor events. I do from people that I know. So if it's a check, select the more option and then the check. You can add a note here, which I don't use. And then here's where you can send a receipt, either by email or text, or just not wanted. You can also add the customer name up in the right-hand corner if you caught that. So you could add the customer name here. I don't always do that either. I need to get better at that. But then back to your receipt. If they do not want a receipt, then just choose the no thanks. And then new sale to bring you back to the checkout screen. And you're ready for your next sale, next customer. Another nice thing that I like to use is the reports. So if you go into the more at the bottom and into the reports and then into the sales. So it defaults to today's date. You can change that date up in the blue date line. So you can go back to a previous date if you had a vendor event. So select that date and click on done, and it'll give you the summary for the whole day. So you can see your sales, any discounts that you gave. It gives you a timeline of when your busy times were, but it does give you a breakdown of what you collected. So you have the total, you have cash, the card, and then your checks in the other. It also shows you the amount of fees that you're paying for that day. And that will help you balance out any deposit that you're working on. The thing that I like on this is the top items area. It will default to the gross and the dollar amount, but you can just check on the count and that'll tell you how many of each you sold. It'll be the top 5, but those 3 dots, you can show the top 10 or you can show all and then scroll down. This is very helpful if you are reordering inventory for another vendor event. I oftentimes go through this even just to see what the top sellers were, or, you know, just seeing if I sold a particular product. You'll see at the bottom, I have categories set up. I have discontinued using this because it was a lot to keep up with. And, but that would just, if you set it up by standard or seasonal, you would get those totals as well. I don't think that's real important with what we're doing. The checkout screen is on the bottom, so you would just check on that, click on that to bring back to the main screen. You can also see each individual transaction by clicking on the transactions in that bottom row. And you'll see, this is kind of nice to see your busy times as to what time each of your sale was, the dollar amounts, and what the products were. These are all of your options in that more category. I don't use very many of these. Another thing that I use in this area is the invoices option. So if I'm closing out a party and I have a host order that wants to pay by credit card, I will enter my invoice in the Square app. So if you just click on the invoices and then create invoice, everything in blue you have to fill in. So you can add your customer and then you add your item or discount. So you would enter that. Once you're in there, you would enter your dollar amount. I didn't do one because I didn't want to send an invoice to somebody and give them a panic attack for something, a purchase that they didn't actually make. But the screen is pretty user-friendly, just filling out the customer and then the discount or the item. You will get to preview and then you can send it. And that is sent by email. You will need an email address for all of the customers. I use that as well for customers making purchases that I'm going to deliver and they want to pay by card. So again, this is just back to the inventory list. And getting back to this by using that checkout option. Okay, now can you see my Square screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the online version, the desktop version. So I would encourage you to use this when you're initially setting up your inventory, because especially this time of year, because you probably have a minimum of one of everything in the catalog. So that's going to be a lot of data entry. So once you go into Square on your computer, this is how it's going to look when you
Lisa,
open
we're
it up.
actually still seeing your video of your
Oh,
square.
yeah, we do see your video. You don't see your desktop.
Okay.
You just have to get out of the video, sorry. And do you have an iPhone, Lisa?
That was on Android.
Oh, because my screen looks different than yours. I didn't have the more, anyway, I can look at that later, but,
Okay. And there was just recently an update, like in the last 2 weeks.
oh, so maybe I need to update my, okay.
So it might be a difference because of that. Okay, now do you see Square?
Yes, thank you, Angie.
Okay. So this is what it's going to look like when you open it up on your desktop. This is the home area, but to enter your products on the computer is just to go into this items. So just click on that. And again, it's pretty user friendly. Just come up here to create an item. It's going to open up to your information screen. You're going to enter the name of your product. I really don't enter anything else here. The taxes, for those of you that charge sales tax, if you want to set that up as a separate item, there's an area to set that up. And now that it's taxable on shipping, I will leave that up to you guys how to figure out how you want to enter that, because I don't have tax on the majority of my items. But here is where you would enter the price. So just enter your dollar amount. And then here is Another nice feature to use is under this stock line, there's an add low stock option. So if you click on that, low stock alert, you see there's none added for this product right now. If you click on that and then scroll down and click on the tracking and then scroll down, you see the low stock alerts. You can enter an amount here. So if you normally like to have on hand 6 of the garlics, you can enter 6 in here of your low stock or 5. And then you'll get an email telling you that it's time to reorder the garlic. So I do have that set up on all of my products, just so that I get that email of my low count inventory. That also helps me in reordering for the next vendor event. So once you have all of that entered, those are pretty much basically the 3 things that I enter, and then just click on your save. The other thing that I do from my desktop is at year end, when it comes to doing inventory. So there is a report that you can run. You can export it to Excel and then just print out like a spreadsheet of all of the products and what Square has for you for your inventory, the number on hand. So if you come to the actions and export library, and then you can export it to Excel. Oh, lost it. Choose export to Excel and then export. And then I'm sure down in my bottom bar that I can't see right now, it's going to give me an Excel spreadsheet. So you can use that, and then I manually verify my, there it's coming, it's just very, very slow. Then I verify the numbers that I have in inventory, and then I can print that off and I can put that with my paperwork for my taxes. So I don't know if you see my spreadsheet, the Excel that popped up. Is that what you're seeing? Probably not.
Nope.
Okay.
Now we are.
Okay, so this is the spreadsheet then that you're going to, that the system is going to create. I just get rid of the columns that I don't need. I keep my price and I keep the quantity, and that's what I keep for my taxes for my inventory sheet. So that I think is all that I have. I think I'll just open it up to questions now.
Lisa,
Sherry?
I have a question. First of all, great job. You didn't seem nervous at all. You did a fantastic job. So thank you so much. So here's my question, Lisa. So as you guys know, I go through a lot of inventory. What if I just want to do, I don't want to manage my inventory on here, but I want to manage my inventory at events. So could I, because I don't know the answer to this, Lisa, if I wanted to have used this at the Grape Stomp this weekend, I would put in all my inventory, like the almond pound cake, aged balsamic, but I don't care how much I have on hand because I know how to manage that.
Yep.
But I want to see what I sell and I want to use that. Can I do that, Lisa?
Yep, you can still just enter all of the products without the quantities, without that stock status or whatever. You're just gonna get probably a report, a low inventory report of everything negative, which you could just disregard. But it's always gonna be negative and continue to build negative if you don't add and zero that out again.
You think there's a way I can shut that part off? Because I don't think I would ever take the time to do that.
I'm not sure on that.
Okay. And then can you name it? Like I would say Grape Stomp 2021. Do you do that? Do you name your events?
I don't. I just run it by dates. So, and And I haven't usually run my reports from the computer. I'm wondering if there is. I've only done it from my phone. And then when I go back to check a previous year, I just go back to like the same dates of the previous year, and you can still access that report.
Okay. I bet there's gotta be a way you can name it. Maybe not. I mean, what you're doing is fine. It's just that if I could search Grape Stomp 2021, to me, that would be easier than to go, when did I do that? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So Lisa, do you run all your inventory through it? Like if someone calls up and says, I need a seasoned salt, do you always do that through your Square?
I do.
Yeah, that's what I need to get better at. Okay.
I'm to that point. That doesn't mean that I always remember to do it or remember to do it on the day of, but I do because that is how I try to track my inventory and my reordering.
Okay. Thank you.
Stephanie?
Question.
Yeah.
I want to reiterate what Sherry said. I didn't think it looked like you were nervous at all.
Oh,
But
I
I do have a question. Sometimes I will do like a show special to move outgoing inventory. Like I have some giddy up guacamole or something left. Is there a way for me to do like $1 off a box or a percentage off a box without going in and
Yes.
changing the price?
Yep. And I did have that in my video, but when I was trying to talk over it, I think I missed that part. So there is a discount here. And on the phone, if you enter them through there, you can enter it there as well. So I know a lot of people will do like the seasonings 3 for $30, or I've started even doing 4 for $40. So you can just create a discount. So under the discounts on the computer, if you want, I'm going to show it from here, create a discount. And then you can just come in here and you can do $1 off. So if you're running $1 off on all the summer items, and then just be sure you have the percent or dollar here. So just be sure that this is set to $1, and then you can save that. And then after you enter in your products, so you entered in your Giddy Up guacamole and you're doing $1 off, up at the top of the items, your discount will be listed there. Just select discount, and then all of the discounts that you have set up will populate, and then you can just select your $1 off and it will subtract $1.
Cool, thanks.
One thing, this is Anna, sorry I got on late and maybe you covered it, but one thing to keep in mind with that's like if I do seasonings 3 for $30 or $1 off, you can only use a discount once per transaction. So I did like two for $30. So I have it says number 1, 3 for $30, and then number 2, 3 for $30. So I can do discounts if they buy six spices. Does that make sense? So if you're
Right.
doing like your dollar basket, you're going to want to do like $4 or $5 coupons just in case they grab 4 or 5 out of there.
Or you can set up what I've done. I had like $1, $2, $3, $4. So if they have 4 summer items, you could just click on the $4 off, because you cannot choose $1 off 4 times. It does limit you to 1 on the discounts. On the products, you can add multiples just by keep hitting the item.
Perfect.
So Lisa, did you talk about doing an invoice at all?
I did.
Okay, perfect. I heard the comment about do take off if people pick up. So sometimes I'll send an invoice to that person just so I remember to take it out of my inventory. And then when they pay it, then I click that the invoice is paid. Perfect. I'm going to watch. I think I might pick up a few tips from it. Thank you.
Lisa, when you're at an event, are you working off your phone on all this, or do you have an iPad, or how are you doing that?
I have only done it off my phone, but there is an option to have the iPad, and then I still use the swiper because that's free. When you sign up for Square, you can get the free little swiper to plug into your phone. For the newer phones, there is a new swiper available because there's no longer a earbud jack. in most phones or
Right.
something to that effect.
Yep.
So there is another option there, but you can also get a chip reader. That will cost you $49. And, but then you have the contactless chip reader swiping. And you can do it from an iPad or a laptop or whatever you choose as well. But I strictly use my phone at this point.
Oh, thank you. Other questions for Lisa?
One more.
Yeah.
And it can be anybody that has, I have an iPhone, so I am really only used to iPhone, but is Square like Android compatible? Can anyone get Square?
Yes. I have an Android and I have, yeah.
Okay.
And you have to choose when you set up, you have to choose what you have because the readers I think might be different.
Okay.
Anyone else? Well, Lisa, you can reach out to Lisa for her link. So you can get, what is it again, Lisa? Like if Stephanie wants to sign up, you each get. can
We
you
each
tell
get
us?
$1,000 of free processing in your first 180 days. So you do have to use that up in 6 months or lose it. But this time of year, you're not going to have a problem getting all of that.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, well, wonderful, Lisa. Thank you so much for inspiring us to up the ante on using Square. I do have that $49 chip reader that Lisa was talking about, and it really works very well. I pushed a lot of money through that this past weekend. But I would love to have the inventory. I would not use it for as much as Lisa does, but I think that's awesome if you can and will. I just would love to have a report at the end of the day rather than, this is what I currently do. This is me. Yep, the old fashioned paper. So it works, but now I have to pay Jane or do it myself to do what Lisa just did at her last event. You know, for inventory management, because as a smart consultant, you're gonna look back at what you did the year before to know what to order. At least that's what I do. Do you do that, Lisa?
Sometimes, yep. If it's an event out of my normal area.
Yeah, it's nice to see what you sold and what was popular. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna stop the recording, but you can hang on.